Bluetooth mode.
Welcome. Share the video as you're joining. Share on your platform. Alfred Obadike, thank you for joining. Thank you so much for joining. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Share the video on your platform. Share the video on your WhatsApp group. Any place you belong, share the video. We must continue to preach the gospel, preach the message. It will surely get to them. They will hear us whether they like it or not. They must hear us. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining wherever you're joining from. Thank you for connecting. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. We are going to be starting very soon. Thank you for joining. If you have not shared the video, share and like the video. Give a thumbs up to the video. Give a thumbs up so that people can join us. Let us share this information as fast as we can. Share the video and give a thumbs up to the video. Give a thumbs up to the video wherever you're watching from. Give a thumbs up to the video. Give a thumbs up to the video and share it. We're going to start very soon to spread the news. It's a very important broadcast, very important time for us to be together. As you all know, the trouble is intensifying, so we have to continue to preach the gospel and say it the way it is. No matter the attack, we have to continue. Please share the video in your platform. Share it any place you belong. Share, keep sharing. Give a thumbs up to the video. Give a thumbs up so that other people can join us. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining wherever you're joining from. Thank you so much for joining. Please keep sharing. Keep sharing. Give a thumbs up to the video and keep sharing. As you give a thumbs up, other people will join us and they can get the information. This is what we have to do. It is our responsibility to pass the message to everyone. We cannot stop. No matter how they try to stop us, try to hinder us, we will not allow them. This is a very critical time. A very critical time. A time that we have to come together and fight our common enemy. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you are not giving a thumbs up, please give a thumbs up to the video. Give a thumbs up to the video and share on your platform as you're joining. Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you so much for joining the broadcast wherever you are joining across the world. If you're joining mainly for Biafra land, today is the D-Day. If you're watching me from Biafra land, I say may Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect you, secure you, give you strength, give you more wisdom and knowledge, and protect you. If you are watching from any part of Biafra land, today, being Monday, as you all know, is a day that Biafran land is locked down. As usual, it is happening in Biafra land today. Biafran people are sitting at home in all states in Biafra land. In all states in Biafra land, they are sitting at home, making sure that the world continue to talk about our situation, making sure that Mazen Nandekano's situation is not swept under the carpet. We must continue to do the needful, and that is exactly what the Biafran people are doing. I must tell you, I applaud everybody in Biafra land. Anybody who is in Biafra land today, I applaud them. They are doing a great work. They are doing a wonderful job against all odds. Against all odds. Against all the discouragement, against all the attack, against all the informants, against all the distraction. Still, Biafran people are focused, fighting for the freedom of their people. It is not easy. It's not a common thing. It's not something you see all the time. This is not a situation you see all the time. You can only find this among people who are genuinely asking for their freedom. And that is why you are seeing what you are seeing in Biafra land today. People in Biafra land are genuinely seeking for freedom. They are not seeking for self-interest. It's not for personal gain. Look at the sit at home that is happening in Biafra land today. Nobody is being forced. People on their own are standing up, listening to the word of Chukwu Okike Abiama, that it is time for us to go home. This is the time for Biafran people to go home. This is the time for Biafran people to go home, and no man born of a woman can stop our movement. We are getting home, and we must get home. No matter how they try to stop us, no matter the attack that is coming from east, west, north, and south, no matter the hindrances that are coming from all angles, there are so many events that are trying to stop you and I from having our freedom, but they will never succeed. They cannot succeed. No matter how they try, they will never succeed. That is why we have to be consistent in what we are doing. anything you are doing as a Biafran to make sure that Biafra comes, remain consistent in what you are doing. Remain consistent and continue to fight your battle. Continue to fight and remain consistent. We will never fail and we will never lose. It doesn't matter what you are seeing. It doesn't matter. Everything you are seeing is pointing to a direction to encourage you and make you get stronger. There are so many distractions, so many distractions. You see people coming with different kinds of opinions and different kinds of topic that doesn't have anything to do with our freedom. I want every Biafra, wherever you are on the planet Earth, to know that Mazen Nandekano, while he was with us, he says it is either Biafra or death. And remember that Mazen Nandekano is in the hand of the DSS because of Biafra. Mazen Nandekano was abducted in Kenya. He was kidnapped from Kenya and sent to Nigeria through extraordinary rendition because of what? Biafra. Not because of any other thing. It's not because of his own personal interest, not because of his own family, not because of the Igbo people. Mazen Nandekano is not in captivity because of the Igbo people. He is in captivity because of the Biafran people, the old southeastern region, the present south-south, the southeast, and the lower Benue. Because of these people, Mazen Nandekano is in DSS today. And Mazen Nandekano has said a time without number that it is either Biafra or death. And he reminded us to be consistent in whatever we are demanding. Today, some people are changing the language. Some people are mistakenly, unknowingly changing the language. I don't know if they are doing it intentionally. If they are doing it intentionally, it is time for them to take their correction. But if you are not doing it intentionally, better wake up. If you are not doing it intentionally, better wake up and focus. We are asking for Biafra Nation. When Biafra Nation comes, any other thing can follow. Every other region can stand on their own and answer the name they want to answer. But as long as it stands today, we are demanding and asking for freedom of Mazen Nandekano, standing in support of Mazen Nandekano in request to actualization of Biafra. We are asking for Biafra. That is what every person from Biafra land is asking for. Biafra. Everybody in the old southern region, we know our common interest. Our common interest is the restoration of Biafra. And we must continue to fight for the restoration of the Biafra until Biafra comes. When Biafra comes, then, if there are some other amendments can be made, if there are so many other people who want to go their separate ways to have their own nation or whatever, there's nothing wrong about that. There's nothing wrong about that. You see the problem that Ukraine is facing today. Ukraine is facing the problem they are facing today because they have refused to let some people go. And each time you refuse to let people, each time you force people against their will to stay in a place, you yourself will never have peace. Each time you force people against their will to be in a place where they don't want to be, you will definitely not have peace. That is why Nigeria is not having peace today. And Nigeria will never ever know peace until they let Biafra go. Because the amalgamation of Biafra into that contraption called Nigeria was not with our consent. It wasn't with our consent. Biafra was forced into Nigeria, including the Oduduwa brothers. They were forced into Nigeria too. That is why they are standing with Biafrans and demanding for self-determination to go back to where they are coming from. Look at what is happening in Ukraine. But of course, Nigeria being a stubborn nation in the hand of the caliphate, they will never listen. They will never learn their lesson. Today, you can see Russia standing up and fighting for those who have been oppressed in Ukraine. And in the process of making that fight, it has now generated to involving innocent people, taking the life of the innocent people. This is what happens when people refuse to do what they are supposed to do. When you refuse to do the needful, what stops Ukraine themselves from conducting a referendum for those who wants to go? Those of them who claim to be Russians, who wants to go? Why not conduct a referendum for them and allow them to be on their own? They refuse. And today, you can see it is because of that that Russia is now holding hand on that intimidation against people. And today, Russia is invading Ukraine. And Ukraine now have seen a power stronger than them, and they are now crying out to the world. And of course, nobody's going to come to their aid. Nobody's going to come. People are going to be talking from distance. Nobody's going to come. That is exactly what is going to happen to Nigeria when the time comes. This is exactly what will happen to Nigeria when the time comes. Biafra have been begging and crying for their independence from Nigeria. Biafrans have been shouting on top of their voices, crying from all angles, demanding for their independence from Nigeria. And people pretend that they don't hear them. The Nigerian government have refused to listen. Nigeria have refused to let them go. and you think that is going to be the end, it is not going to be the head of the story. Biafrans will get their freedom by all means possible. Remember what Mazen Nandekano said. Mazen Nandekano said, even if it takes the life of every single Biafran, if it is only one person that survives, that person will establish the state of Biafra and start from there. What does that tell you? That Biafrans are not backing down. And when Mazen Nandekano says it's either Biafra or death, he's not joking about it. So many other Biafrans have taken the same oath. That it is either Biafra or death. We are not backing down. We are not backing down. And if the Janjaweed government want to have peace, if Nigeria want to have peace, they should let Biafra go. If they don't let Biafra go, let them see what is happening to Ukraine today. It is going to happen in Nigeria. What is happening in Ukraine today is going to happen in Nigeria. Not too long from now. Because we are dealing with monsters who understand only the language of violence. That is the language the Nigerian government understands. The Biafran people are asking for self-determination. The Ududua people are asking for self-determination. The Middle Belters are asking for self-determination. They are not requesting for this through war. They are asking gently, peacefully, for a referendum for people to go their separate ways. But today, the peaceful request of referendum have been translated to war. And the Janjaweed government of Nigeria have come with all manner of weapons against the Biafran people. They have destroyed our home. They have destroyed our businesses. They have burned down our homes. They have arrested us. They have imprisoned us. They have done all manner of evil against the Biafra people simply because we are asking for self-determination. All the weapon of warfare that they have unleashed on Biafra is not because Biafrans, we are fighting against them. It's not because Biafrans fought war against them, but they were the one that brought war against Biafra. The same thing they do during the Civil War. During the Biafran War, it was still the same Nigeria that brought war against the Biafran people. Ojukwu did not declare war. It was the government of Nigeria that declared war and brought the war to Ojukwu. And Ojukwu had to defend himself and defend his own people. And he fought gallantly for 3 good years, defending his land. He was not fighting alone. Everybody in the old Southeastern region fought for him, regardless of your tribe and their religion. They were together and united, fighting. Even though we know there are some saboteurs also. During the Civil War, there were still some saboteurs. Saboteurs, even from the hometown of Ojukwu himself. There were people who were sabotaging him. There were people sabotaging from Biafra land, sabotaging the struggle, just as they are doing today. Today, you can see a lot of sabotage in the struggle for Biafra. The man that is holding the flag of Biafra, who has put the Biafran issue on the front burner, put the Biafran issue on top of the world. Today, that man was kidnapped and sent to DSS. Today is a day we demand for his release by sitting at home in Biafra land. You see some people, they are discouraging those who are sitting at home. You see some idiots acting as an informant against Biafrans who are sitting at home, asking for Mazen Nandekano to be released. You see some people who are acting as informants going against the ESN that Mazen Nandekano established to protect them and their unborn children. These are the kind of saboteurs we have. You see some of them, they are on their platform, even as they are watching me now, they are on their own platform, speaking against the people who are fighting tooth and nail to see that Biafra comes. They are on their platform blackmailing their fellow Biafra. The kind of blackmail you get from the so-called Biafra agitators, you don't even, against their own Biafran people, you don't even get it from the Janjaweed. The Janjaweed don't even have any force of blackmail against the Biafra. It is we Biafran people that are blackmailing ourselves, giving ourselves different kinds of names, causing division, using the same language of Janjaweed that Mazen Nandekano have taken away. How can somebody who is normal think that using Biafra itself is not enough for us? Using the name Biafra is enough. That is the name that unites every one of us. It is the name that we have been registered to. It is the name that the whole world have known us for. There's nothing wrong in changing them. We can change them, but this is not the time. We can change our name when the time comes. We can. But not when our Supreme Mazen Nandekano, who is facing the court, in that same name, he is facing the court in the name Biafra. He is standing in the court, facing court in the name Biafra, and we are sitting at home every Monday defending him, and yet some of us are denying that name. Some of us are trying to sweep that name under the carpet. If you are sweeping that name under the carpet, you are equally sweeping this issue of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu under the carpet. You are actually making Mazen Nnamdi Kanu irrelevant. Anybody that is talking against Biafra, if you are not standing with Biafra and speaking up for Biafra, you are actually bringing down the name of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. You are bringing down the name of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. If you are not fighting along with the Biafran people, if you are not fighting on the name Biafra, if you are not standing on that name Biafra, it means you are trying to relegate Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to the background. That is what it means. Each time you try to deviate from the real thing and begin to say something different, you are actually distracting the people who are fighting for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and making sure that it's not being released. You are releasing the pressure from the Janjaweed government when you are trying to remove Biafra. When you remove Biafra from the picture, you are trying to reduce the burden on the contraption called Nigeria. Take it or leave it. That is what it means. That name Biafra is the only name that any person in Janjaweed country, anybody in that country called Nigeria, if they hear that name Biafra, they will think twice. They will look left and right. They will mind their speech. They will think again. The name Biafra cannot be relegated to the background as long as Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is still in DSS. On that name, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have taken Biafra to a different level. And there is no man that can be able to change that narrative except Mazen Nnamdi Kanu himself. If there will be a name change of Biafra, it is only Mazen Nnamdi Kanu himself that will do that change. And that change will be done through consultation. That change will be done through proper consultation. Proper consultation and voting. And I trust Mazen Nnamdi Kanu for who he is. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu doesn't force people to do things. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu don't impose things on people. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu allow people that democratic means to be able to decide their fate. He gives that open door for people to decide and decide on what to do. Let us stop distracting ourselves. This is not the time for us to begin to fight about names. Who answer what or who answer this? Some of us who are good students of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, you cannot agree with me that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have spoken about the nations that made up Biafra. There are so many nations. There are so many nations. And Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said that when Biafra comes, every nation can stand on their own and answer the name they want to answer. It's up to them. It's up to them. In that process, if there will be a change of name for Biafra, it will still come. But not now that we are fighting for our freedom. Not now that we're fighting for our freedom. We are fighting for our freedom in a name that the whole world have known. Even the dead and the living have it on record. The dead and the living, spiritually and physically, Biafra is recorded and everybody knows about it. The name Biafra have been registered in the international communities. Everywhere, United Nations, they know about Biafra. And the most important one and most painful is that our Supreme Leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the flag bearer of the Biafran people, is in captivity today because of that name. He is in captivity because of that name. So why would anybody begin to think of relegating that name to the background? Why would anybody who is thinking wisely can be thinking of relegating that name to the background? This is not the time. This is not the time. Thank you so much, Lillian Godwin. You're welcome. Thank you so much. This is not the time. This is not the time to begin to relegate that name to the background. There is nothing wrong in it. So many names that people are popping up from all angles, popping different kind of name. All those names exist. We respect your opinion. We agree with whatever you are saying. We are not fighting against you. We are not standing against you. But keep it for now. Keep it for now. Let us pursue that common interest of freedom. Let us pursue that common interest of freedom based on that thing that make all of us meet in one place. That issue of Biafra. That issue of Biafra. That is what we have to focus on. That is what we have to focus on. Every single one of us have to continue to fight. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu that you and I is following. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu that brought every one of us together. The man that is the flag bearer of every one of us, who is standing for us, whom have convinced all of us, and every single Biafran, everybody believe and accept that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is genuine. Including those who want to answer other names, including those who want to answer, even people who are not Biafrans. Everybody agree that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is fighting a genuine cause. That man who is fighting a genuine cause on the name Biafra today is in captivity. He was kidnapped because of that name. He almost lost his life because of that name. Today, he is facing a case. He is facing a case on his head in that Janjaweed country, in that name Biafra. Today, he is in captivity in the DSS based on that name Biafra. How can anybody think of taking that name away? How? How can you think of taking that name away? Let us not be overcarried away with emotions. Let us not be overcarried away with things that are not relevant. The most relevant thing for us now is to how to make sure that Mazen Nanakan is released from the hand of the Janjaweed. How are we going to do it? By every one of us coming together, doing the needful, enforcing the sit at home on Monday, enforcing the sit at home. Economic sanction to the Janjaweed. That is where we're supposed to focus. Economic sanction. Open our eyes and ears and support every information that is coming from Chukwu Okike Abiama. Every detailed information coming from Chukwu Okike Abiama. Since Mazen Nandekano was taken away from us, Chukwu Okike Abiama took over the struggle. Chukwu Okike Abiama took over the struggle. It doesn't matter if you agree or not. It doesn't matter if you believe in God or you don't believe in him. Chukwu Okike Abiama took over the struggle since Mazen Nandekano was taken away because there was no other capable hand that was able to handle it. No other person. The people who were supposed to handle the affairs of the Biafran people were not able to handle it. They were not able to handle it. And Chukwu Okike Abiama by himself took over. He took over. And today, Chukwu Okike Abiama is speaking to every single Biafran person. But the problem is that some of us are ignoring what Chukwu Okike Abiama is saying. Some of us are ignoring what Chukwu Okike Abiama, and some of us are giving wrong interpretation to what Chukwu Okike Abiama is saying. That is the problem. You see people misinterpreting the information that Chukwu Okike Abiama is giving them. That is the difference between every one of us and Mazen Nandekano. Mazen Nandekano hears from Chukwu Okike Abiama and he hears clear. And he can be able to dissect even when a parable is made. He dissects every information that Chukwu Okike Abiama gives. But today, Chukwu Okike Abiama is speaking to us directly. But some of us cannot be able to digest what he is saying. And that is why people are making some mistake. Just like people who are pushing the change of name. They are pushing the change of name, telling us that we are Idu. Let me tell you, knowing whom you are can mean a lot of things. When there is a revelation that you must know whom you are, it can mean a lot of things. Knowing whom you are doesn't mean change of name. Knowing whom you are as a Biafran person does not literally mean change of name. That is not what it means. When Chukwu Okike Abiama made the revelation and say, every one of us must know whom we are, it is a good revelation, and that is the right way, in the right direction. We have to know whom we are. Find out, whom are you? What has Chukwu Okike Abiama created you for? Who were you before the strangers came in? Recognition of whom you are. Knowing who you are doesn't literally mean a change of name. It doesn't mean a change of name. But what it means that don't forget whom you are. It's just like some people who get married. There are some women that get married. When they get married, they will not change their name. They will not change it. They will still be bearing their maiden name. They will be bearing their maiden name. But it doesn't mean that they don't know marriage. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that they don't respect their husband. It doesn't mean that they don't belong to the family of their husband. They still belong to the family of their husband, but they are using their maiden name. Maybe because of how far the name have gone. With some other certificate and a lot of things that have to do with the name, they have to still keep that maiden name. They have to keep that maiden name. They keep that maiden name. But keeping that maiden name doesn't mean that they don't know whom they are. They know whom they are. They know that they are married. And they know that legitimately where they belong is in the family of their husband. They know that legitimately where they belong is in the family of their husband. That is knowing who you are. So if you're bearing a name, because you are bearing a maiden name as a woman, then because you are bearing a maiden name, you forgot that you're a married woman. Because you're bearing a maiden name, you eventually just forgot you're a married man. You forgot that there is a family that you're representing, that you're not only representing your maiden family, there is a family that you're supposed to represent, where your husband belongs. That is where you belong, and that is where you're supposed to defend. That is why the reminder of knowing who you are, that is where you come from. Knowing who you are doesn't literally mean change of name. It doesn't literally mean the change of name. A lot of Biafran people have lost their identity. So many of us Biafrans don't know who we are. That was the message. So many of us don't know who we are. So many of us don't even believe that we are one people up to now. Up to now, some of us don't even believe. They don't believe that we are one people. Every single Biafra in the old southeastern region, the present south and the southeast and the lower Benue, any place where women are tying 2 pieces of wrapper, we are from one ancestral parents. We are from one ancestral parents. We are one people. And that was the message that Chukwuka Abema passed through. But some people couldn't understand that message. Some people are misinterpreting that message, telling the people whom we are. We know whom we are. Know whom we are. Know whom you are. If you don't know that you people are one, if you don't know that we are one people, you better wake up and know that every single Biafran people, we are one people from one ancestral parents. Biafrans, we are one people. And that is why sometimes when you see Mazin Nandekano, our speaker Mazin Nandekano will come on his broadcast. Mazin Nandekano will say that every Biafran is an Igbo. Mazin Nandekano will come and say, we are all Igbos. When Mazin Nandekano say we are all Igbos, some people get offended. Some people will pick offense. Some people say that he's trying to relegate people to the background. Some people pick offense and he's trying to make Igbo superior. He is not trying to make Igbo superior, but he is trying to let you know that we are one people and connected together. Go and look. Check very well. You will see the connection between every single man in Biafra land. It doesn't matter your tribe. It doesn't matter your religion. If somebody from Ijo land speaks, you will hear some certain Igbo language in their language. So if you see a Biafran Edo speaking, you will see some Biafran language, Igbo language in their language. You see a Calabar man and a Fik speaking, you will hear some Igbo languages in their tribe, what they're saying. In the culture, the way they behave, the way they live, the way they do, you will see an atom of Igbo attitude in them. Look at all the Biafrans. Go and look at them. When if you're an Igbo person and you see a fellow Biafran, look them with your eye. Look at them. You'll be seeing your own picture in their life. If you're an Ijo Biafra, you see your brother from Efik. Look at that, your Efik brother. You will be seeing you will see the replica of yourself in that your brother. That is what Mazin Nandekan was preaching then, telling us that we are all Igbos. Of course, Igbos are many. They have a very great population, but that doesn't make them much more important than another person. We are all one people. Equal right. We have equal right. There is no minority. No minority in Biafra land. We don't use the word minority because we are one family. We don't use minority in Biafra because we are one family, one people. From all angles, wherever you're coming from, we are one people. That is why we do not use the word minority. There's no minority in Biafra land. And Mazin Nankan went ahead to say that when Biafra comes, anytime Biafra comes, that every single people existing in their own region, every nation will stand on their own. Even if you are 5 people and you want to have your nation, you have the right to have your nation. You're welcome, my sister. Welcome. And when Biafra comes, every one of us have the right to stand together. We will stand together. When Biafra comes, if you are 5 or 6, you want to have your nation, you have the right to have your nation. And nobody will stand against it. Nobody will stop you. Nobody, no man born of a woman can stop you. But today, you see people now, they are losing the track. Some of them are misinterpreting the language. They misinterpret the revelation that Chukwuka is giving them. Chukwuka is in charge of the struggle. He is talking to different kinds of people, different people. He is speaking through people, but it's led for you to digest what you are hearing from them. Digest what you're hearing from them and be able to filter out what Chukwuka is saying. So when our sister brought that message of knowing whom we are as Biafrans, that we are one people, from one source, from one family, from one ancestral parents, it doesn't mean change of name. Knowing who we are doesn't mean change of name. That's not what it means. Knowing whom we are doesn't literally mean change of name. If you know whom you are, you will know what you are fighting for. Knowing who we are will help us to have more unity, more united. It will make us more united. When we know whom we are, it will make us much more united. Not causing division. Not causing division. Today, when you see people who are talking about the change of name, the kind of language they use, you'll be wondering, are these people fighting the same thing you are fighting? The kind of language, a divisive language is what you see here from them. That is one of my major problems with them. I don't hate them. I don't talk against them. But my major problem with them is that they use divisive language. They use a language of division. The same language that they have planted within us, that same language of divide and rule. So many of them who are talking about this very issue of change of name, they are applying it. And that is where the confusion is coming in. If you are going on that direction unintentionally, I pray that Chukwu will open your eyes and direct you right. But if you are doing that intentionally to cause confusion, Chukwu will not be happy with you. He won't be happy with you. And before you know it, something terrible is going to happen. Something terrible is going to happen before you know it. So the earlier you retrace your step, the better. As long as we continue to fight for the freedom of the Biafran people, we continue to fight for it as Biafran people. As long as Mazen Nandekan remains in the hand of the enemy, in the territory of the enemy, on that name called Biafra, nobody should relegate it to the background. If you remove that name Biafra, if you relegate the name Biafra to the background, you are actually relegating Mazen Nandekan to the background, and you are exposing Mazen Nandekan to more danger. You are trying to make Mazen Nandekan irrelevant. That is what you are trying to do. Because as far as Biafra stands today, any place you mention Biafra, you will mention Mazen Nandekan. There is no place that Biafra can be mentioned without the name of Mazen Nandekan on the planet Earth today. Every country, every nation, every organization where Biafra is being registered, it is registered as a freedom fighting organization, Biafra. We are asking for restoration of Biafra. Even in the Janjaweed court, we have a case there for the restoration of Biafra. So how can anybody be thinking of changing of name at this material time? This is not the time. I agree with you. We must know who we are. There are so many revelations on knowing who we are. There are so many revelations. We have to know who we are. Thank you, Gladys. You're welcome. There are so many revelations from all angles to know who we are. It is a good revelation. We must know whom we are. But knowing whom we are does not mean that we have to change our name. It doesn't. That's not what it means. Stop pushing that. Stop pushing changing of the name Biafra. It is enough to say we know whom we are. I agree with you 100%. Anybody that is talking about knowing who we are, we must know whom we are, that we are from one ancestral parents as one people. One people who are being relegated to the background, one people who are being intimidated, one people who are being killed in that country called Nigeria, one people who are not wanted in Nigeria, one people whom the Fulani Caliphate have made an enemy, one people whom the British people are using whom British are using the Fulani Caliphate to oppress. Biafra is a spirit. Just as Mazen Nandekan have always said, Biafra is a spirit. And how dare you think you can be able to fight that spirit or take that spirit away? You want to invoke a different spirit, apart from the Biafra spirit that we know that is working on everybody. Mazen Nandekan sing it like music. Every one of us is talking about it, the Biafra spirit, the Biafra spirit, the Biafra spirit, and the Biafra spirit is at work. Instead of you to support the Biafran spirit and let this Biafran spirit continue to work, support the Biafran spirit the best way you can. Let the freedom come and let Mazen Nandekan be released. You are making the Biafran spirit angry. You are discouraging the Biafran spirit. You are relegating the Biafran spirit to the background. How is that a right step to take? That is not the right step to take and can never be. That is a wrong step. A wrong step in the wrong direction. We must have to continue to fight. Fight as one people. Every single Biafran. It is you and I that will free ourselves. Let us stop being distracted. Let us stop talking about irrelevant things. Let us stop the blackmail. Stop the propaganda. Stop the blackmail. Stop fighting against your own brother and your own sister. Stop talking down on people. Be focused and fight for your freedom. Nobody is going to do it for you. Look at Ukraine today. Look at Ukraine. Just borrow leave at Ukraine. Ukraine is fighting on all fronts. Nobody is coming for them. Nobody is fighting for Ukraine today. They are on their own. Ukraine is on their own. If they don't fight, nobody's going to fight for them. They have to fight their battle because it is theirs. Ukraine has to fight their battle to free themselves. Nobody will fight for them. Nobody. With all the connection that Ukraine has have people supporting them. The United Nations support Ukraine. EU support Ukraine. The Security Council have met because of Ukraine. Up till now, have they stopped the war? They cannot even come on the ground to fight for them. They can't come. That is to show you what is about to happen in Biafra land. We have to prepare ourselves. Stop complaining when you talk about sit at home. As today, now you see Biafran people sitting at home. Many Biafran are sitting at home. But still, there are people who are complaining. Go to their media. You see people who are complaining about the sit at home. But look at Ukraine today. Look at Ukraine. Their billionaires and millionaires are even coming back home to fight for their nation. Their rich men and women are at home fighting for the nation. Their celebrities are there, fighting for the nation. Their celebrities are taking it upon themselves. But in Biafra struggle, how many celebrities in Biafra land you see them post the issue of Biafra? With all the maiming, all the killing, all the burning of homes in Biafra land, how many celebrities in Biafra land do you see them posting pictures of what happened in the area? How many of them do you see promote the affair of Biafra? None of them. They are so scared to protect their selfish interests. They are very scared. They want to protect themselves. They want to protect their interests. How many of them? Go and check some of their platform today. Some of them are posting Ukraine. Biafran celebrities, politicians from Biafran land, they are posting the things that are happening in Ukraine. Some of them are posting it. But in their own backyard, there is Ukraine in them. There is Ukraine in their backyard where people are being mowed down on daily basis. Even as you're watching this video, people are losing their life in Biafran land. But they will never post it. Go to their platform. You will not see them post anything that has to do with Biafra. They won't complain about the death of their people in their area. But today, go to their platform, you will see them promoting their platform with the issue of Ukraine. I'm not mocking the Ukraine people. We're not happy that innocent souls are dying in Ukraine. I'm praying for Ukraine people. I'm praying for the ordinary people in Ukraine. That Chukwu should secure them and set them free. Every Biafran person there, anybody in that Ukraine, I pray that Chukwu will secure them. It is not a good thing for people to face war and die for a war that they did not plan for. And what is the cause of the war? Ignorance and stupidity of the government. Ignorance and stupidity of the government. That is the same thing the Janjaweed government is doing today. People want to go, you don't want to let them go. You want to have your own freedom, but you don't want others to have their freedom. You want to enjoy your own freedom, but other people, you think that they don't deserve freedom. You cannot allow them to have their freedom. This is what is playing out. And that is why you see Ukraine in the situation that they are today. That is why Ukraine in the situation that okay. And the Janjaweed country, the Janjaweed, they should be mindful. What is happening in Ukraine today is going to be a lesson to them. It will be a lesson to them. It will definitely happen in Nigeria. What is happening in Ukraine will happen in Nigeria in time to come. Very, very soon, it's going to happen. When we are talking about the new dimension of the struggle, you think it's a joke. Wait and see what is going to unfold. Chukwu Okigabema is in charge. As long as Chukwu Okigabema tells us to move, we will move without looking back. When Chukwu Okigabema tells us to move, we are going to move without looking back. Without considering the consequence of whatever anybody will say. We are waiting for the order from Chukwu Okigabema. And when the order comes, we are going to go and take it. We will go and take it by force because freedom is not given. Freedom is taken. It's not given. Nobody is going to give you freedom in the platter of gold. You must have to fight for it. Every other nation that have free today have fought for their freedom in one way or the other. They have fought for their freedom at one time or the other. So many nations have fought, gave life, gave property, gave things away because of their freedom. If you want your freedom as a Biafran, you must prepare yourself to fight to get your freedom. And the time is now. The time is now. For you to have your freedom, the time is now, not tomorrow. Every Biafran, wherever you are living in the planet Earth, prepare yourself and fight for your freedom. The time is now for us to take our freedom. Take it from the hand of the enemy that is holding it. Don't back down. Stop complaining. Look at Ukraine. Their millionaires and billionaires are coming back home. Those who are abroad are coming back. Those who are home are standing, picking up arms to defend their nation. But in Biafra, people will not support Biafra because of the useless business they have in the north. Some of them will not support Biafra simply because of the shop they have in the north, because of the house they have in the north, because of the 3-story building they have in the north, because of the hotel they have in the north. They will not support the issue of Biafra. Selfish people everywhere. Ask people, some of them, just because of the job they are doing, where they are paying them peanut. Just because of the job they are doing, where they're paying them peanut, they don't want to talk about Biafra. They don't want to support anything that has to do with Biafra. Look at the politician. Because of their political interest, they want to be seen as a minister, as a governor, as a vice president. They will never speak about Biafra. They will never defend anything that has to do with Biafra. Bunch of cowards. They have now become a willing tool in the hand of the caliphate. As the caliphate is a willing tool in the hand of the British to keep us down, some Biafrans are a willing tool in the hand of the caliphate to keep their people down. As long as money is coming into their account, they don't care. As long as their own life is okay, they don't care about the ordinary people. Some of them are afraid because they know that when Biafra come, they will become irrelevant. So they want to remain relevant based on the death of their people. They want to remain relevant. That is why they will never support Biafra. But Chukwu Okike Abiama will not forgive you. Neither will you succeed in your plan. As many as are standing and fighting Biafra, making sure that Biafra doesn't come, as many as are standing against the freedom of the people, you will never succeed. In that thing you call success, you will never succeed in it. You will never succeed. Including those of them who are inside. There are some of them who are among the members of IPOB who are fighting against the Biafra and they pretend to be fighting for Biafra. You see them in their platform. All they do is to castigate their own brothers and sisters. All they do is to talk against those who are preaching the gospel. All they do is to attack all those who are talking about the freedom of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, speaking up and saying the right thing. Their own word is to challenge and attack those who are preaching the gospel of peace, gospel of freedom, gospel of unity. You can never be free. Chukwu Okike Abiama will never allow you to go free. No matter whom you are. No matter who you are, Chukwu Okike Abiama will never allow you to go free. But for Biafran people who are in Biafra land, today is a sit at home. I thank Biafran people who are in Biafra land. I appreciate them so much. Every single Biafran person that is in Biafra land, both women and children, everybody in Biafra land, I appreciate every one of you and I thank you very much for all you are doing. Against all odds, against all the killing, against all the attack, against all the intimidation. Yet, Biafran people are sitting at home up to today. They are sitting at home, demanding for the unconditional release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Not caring what they lose, not caring the attack, not caring the blackmail. Biafrans are sitting at home. Go to the media, you see the videos today. Biafrans are sitting at home, making sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is not relegated to the background. Because that is my greatest fear. As we are in the year of election, where they are pushing up their campaign and everything. But yet, Biafran people are standing their ground, making sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu remains on top of the banner. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu remains on top of the news. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu remains the most relevant thing we can talk about. The most relevant individual we can talk about in Biafra land. And nobody can change it. It doesn't matter how they try. They can't succeed. Because Chukwu Okike Abiama is involved. Chukwu Okike Abiama is fully involved. And we must continue until Biafra comes. No weapon formed or fashioned against us shall prosper. If you're in Biafra land, I say, may Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect you. If you're in Biafra land, I say, may Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect you, secure you. You will never lose your life. If you are in Biafra land, I say, may Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to secure you. Any place you step your foot, may Chukwu Okike Abiama continue to guide your steps. You will never see death if you're in Biafra land. You will never see death. The Janjaweed will never see you. The terrorists will never see you. The enemies will never take your life. You will be alive and you will walk into Biafra. And you will celebrate in Biafra land. If you're in Biafra land and you're standing tall and you are genuinely fighting to see that Biafra comes, Chukwu Okike Abiama will protect you. Anything you have lost, any day you miss your business, you will gonna get it 100-fold. Chukwu Okike Abiama will bless you, give you more, 100-fold. Anything that you have lost, you will get it back. Every Biafran all over the world, wherever you are in Biafra land, every Biafran, wherever you are, even if you're not in Biafra land, Chukwu Okike Abiama will keep all of us and we will all walk into Biafra. We will not only hear about Biafra, we will not only see Biafra, we will walk into Biafra and we'll celebrate inside Biafra. And we will raise the flag with Asula Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will definitely raise the flag. No matter what any person is doing, no matter what any enemy is doing, they can never ever succeed. They will never. No weapon formed or fashioned against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will prosper. No weapon. No matter what they inject into his body, no matter the charms they use against him, no matter the attack they use against him, no matter the manipulation against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, they will never ever succeed. Chukwu Okike Abiama have already stationed spiritual doctors around Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Chukwu Okike Abiama have already stationed angels to guide and protect Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And no weapon formed or fashioned against him shall prosper. We must continue until Biafra come. And remember, if you are a Biafran, if you are from the old southeastern region, if you are from the old southeastern region, the present south and the southeast with the lower Benue, continue to call on for Biafra. Stand with Biafra. Continue to follow that name and pursue the name Biafra. That is where we all meet. That is a name that we have all sacrificed and paid dearly for. There is no family in Biafra land that have not lost a person in that name called Biafra. There is no family in Biafra land that did not lose someone to Biafra. Every one of us have lost someone in one time or the other for Biafra. That is why we must have to respect that name, respect it, until our leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who is the flag bearer of Biafra, comes out. When he comes out, if there's an amendment that will be made, only him and him alone, only him and him alone has that right to make any change, if there will be a change. Because we trust him. Chukwu Okike Abiama speaks to him, and he can be able to digest every information that Chukwu Okike Abiama gives him. Sometimes God speaks in parable, and if you don't have the gift to decide, you give a sign, you might not know what Chukwu Okike Abiama is saying. If you don't know it very well, if you don't have good interpretation, you might not be able to interpret what Chukwu Okike Abiama is saying. I say it again, Chukwu Okike Abiama is in charge of the struggle, and Chukwu Okike Abiama is speaking to different kind of people, to men and women and children, speaking to everybody. It is led for you to digest and interpret properly the dreams and revelations you have. If you don't interpret it properly, you might mislead people. And if you don't have a proper interpretation, there's no need talking about it. Keep it to yourself and pray over it. If you don't have a good interpretation, keep it to yourself and pray over it until you have a good interpretation. We have to know whom we are. I agree. But when you talk about change of name, this is not the time. When you talk about change of name, this is not the time. And Chukwu Okike Abiama is not the author of confusion. Chukwu Okike Abiama is not the author of confusion. What he says he will do, he will always do. Whatever Chukwu Okike Abiama says he will do, he will always do. And no man can stop him. Chukwu Okike Abiama also is the one that installed orderliness. Chukwu Okike Abiama is known as orderliness himself. He is orderly. He is orderly. Everything that Chukwu Okike Abiama put in place is orderly, arranged properly. That is why when you look at yourself as a human being, you see the way you have been organized. You see the way every features in your body is being organized. Look at everything that Chukwu Okike Abiama has created. Well organized, everything in its own place. Animals know their place. Human beings know their place. Everything that Chukwu Okike Abiama is well organized. That is why you have to know that Chukwu Okike Abiama is not an author of confusion. Biafran people, let us stand and continue to demand for the freedom of Biafra. Demand for the unconditional release of our Supreme Master Nnamdi Kanu, who is the flag bearer of the Biafran people. He is the flag bearer, and nobody can change it. Master Nnamdi Kanu has sacrificed everything sacrificable, and still doing so. He is in the hand of the DSS, not because of himself, not because of his family, not because of his wife and children, not because of the Igbo people. Master Nnamdi Kanu is in captivity because of Biafra people. Because of Biafra. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is in the hand of the enemy because of Biafra. And we have to continue to fight for Biafra until Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is being released. The only man that has the right to change a name or to tell us something else to do is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu by himself in person. We cannot listen to any second-hand information anymore. We cannot listen to any second-hand information from any man or woman. It doesn't matter who you say talk to you. From DSS. We can't take any information, any order from the DSS. Never again. For those wicked people who are still waiting for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to talk to them from DSS, people who have not learned anything, you were with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu for decade, more than a decade now. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is preaching on daily basis. Sometimes 2 times a day, sometimes 3 times a day. Yet, you did not learn anything. Today, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is in the hand of the enemy. You are still waiting for him to come from DSS and free you. You are waiting for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to come from DSS and fight for you. You are a wicked person. You are a wicked person. It doesn't matter whom you are. It doesn't matter who you think you are. It doesn't matter how educated or how popular or the rank or position you think you occupy. Whether you are in IPOB or not in IPOB, it doesn't matter who you think you are. If you are still waiting for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to come from DSS and give you order, or from DSS to give you order, from DSS to come and free you, you are a wicked person. Today, it is your responsibility to free Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. He has fought for you, given it all, done everything possible as human to free the Biafran people. It is high time you yourself do something to free Mazen Nnamdi. They cannot stop us. They cannot stop us, no matter the attack they are bringing. You see, each time we come online to broadcast, you will see different kinds of attack from all angles, from all corners, attacking us and see that we don't preach the message. But we will continue to send out the message, no matter what they do, no matter the attack they bring from any angle, from any corner. We will continue to preach the message until Biafra comes. And thank you, today, we have succeeded in passing a message also. Continue to stand on your civil disobedience. Sit at home on Sunday and on Monday, continuously. And economic sanction to the Janjaweed. Economic sanction. Don't give your revenue to the local government, state government, or federal government in Biafra land. And the production of oil in Biafra land, that production of oil have to be stopped. Every resources that are produced in Biafra land, we have to stop them from extracting those resources from Biafra land. We have to stop them, and the time is now. Thank you for watching wherever you are watching from. I say, may Chukwu carry on guide and protect you. May Chukwu carry on secure you. As many as have shared this video, every hand that have shared this video, Chukwu carry on will bless you, prosper you. You will see Biafra. You will walk into Biafra. You will see the end of 2022. 2022 will never see your end. As many as have shared this video on their platform, if you have shared the video on your platform, share it on your WhatsApp group or any of your family members, anybody you share this video from, Chukwu Okikarian will bless you more and more and keep you alive until Biafra come. Thank you so much for watching. May Chukwu Okikarian guide and protect our Oduduwa brothers, guide and protect each other, secure our spirit and bring it back to us very, very soon. We know that he's coming. No man born of a woman can stop the coming of Master Nanikan. He's on his way home. Thank you for watching. And remember, see you again tomorrow by the special grace of Chukwu Okikarian. Bye-bye.